Everyone talks about the cost of buying a home, but nobody talks about the cost after buying a home, after your down payment, after your closing costs. There's a lot of money involved. First thing is appliances, probably the biggest one. So sometimes when you buy a house, the owners will not leave their appliances because they're bringing them to the new house. That right there, you're spending minimum $1,000,
Yep.
probably more. I feel like $1,000 would be bare basics, stove, fridge, basic. Then the next thing is when you buy a house, it's almost always going to be bigger than when you lived in an apartment, which means you need more furniture. When I bought my house, the furniture looked so stupid in here that I had to buy new. This alone is going to run you thousands of dollars just to furnish one room. Next, you have utilities. So some utilities make you pay a deposit to turn them on. It's stupid, I know. And it's only in some places, sometimes. Then you have little things that nobody ever thinks about, which are things like dish soap, laundry soap, bath mats, shower curtain liner, toilet cleaner, toilet brush, like all these things. You can expect your first trip to Walmart or Target to be hundreds of dollars. All of this to say, if you're going to buy a house and you're like, hey, I have $20,000, and your loan officer says, hey, you really only need to put 10,000 of this down, listen to them. Do not go and be like, I'm going to put all of my savings onto one house for the down payment, for the closing costs. Listen to them, hold a little chunk back, because it's going to cost money just moving in and making your house your house.
Everybody talks about when you finally get your keys, but what most people don't talk about is what happens after closing when your house starts asking you for more money. And this is why I always tell first time homebuyers, do not spend every dollar just trying to get into the house, because that's not the end of the bill. Let's get into it. So she's absolutely right and really gave great advice, because this is a part of the process that can humble a lot of first time homebuyers. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kay, giving you the real keys to homeownership so that your first buy is the right one. Most often, as a buyer, what you're going to prepare for are the basic things that people talk about: the down payment, the closing costs, maybe even the inspections you have to have, or the appraisal, things like that. But they often forget about the move in money that they're going to need. As a buyer, the spending does not stop when you close on that home. Okay, everything you've spent up until that point was to get you in there. Now you're going to have to do some more spending to make that house a home. As she stated, there are items that you're still going to have to buy. Okay, you bought the house. You didn't buy a house along with all of the things that come with it. So, most times, whether it's new construction or pre existing, whatever seller was in there at the time, they're going to take, the refrigerator, the washer and dryer, all of the things that they put in there, they're taking that with them to furnish their new house. So you may need appliances, refrigerator, washer and dryer, things like that. You may need new blinds, which is more common in new construction homes as opposed to pre-existing, because new blinds may not be a standard upgrade or something that they build with the home. Okay. You may need to invest in some tools for the minor repairs or the small fixing that you'll be doing. You also will need to invest in some lawn care items, a weed eater, a lawn mower, things like that, to keep up with the outer appearance of your house, because that matters just as much as the inside. All right, with that being said, you're also going to need cleaning supplies and furniture. She made a really good point. Most times, you're going from something smaller to something bigger. Either you were renting, or you were living at home with mom and dad, or you were somewhere where you didn't have as much space as you're about to have. So, what most people do, what most people want, is to furnish that area. So, as she said, it doesn't look stupid. Bigger space equals more furniture. Another thing that she mentioned is utility deposits: water, gas, okay, your lights and electricity. As soon as you move in, that stuff doesn't just turn on. You have to turn that on. And most times, those companies are going to want an upfront deposit before they'll turn those things on. Then, if you're like me or you don't like bugs, you might have pest control come out before you put all of the furniture in the home, to have them spray and do the things that they need to do so you don't have to deal with that. You may also need to pay for the actual trash can and recycle bin to come, or if there's a service charge for that, depending on what subdivision or HOA you're in. And lastly, one of the items that are really overlooked when you move into a new property is changing the locks. Most times, buyers do not keep the same locks that the builder or the previous seller had. They're going to change them for their privacy so that no one has a key to get into your home. But the issue with that is that a lot of buyers just save to close on the house. They don't save to live comfortably after they have closed. So here's something to note. The first 30 to 90 days of moving into your home usually comes with a spending wave. Okay. It may not be one huge emergency, but it's those little things that you're going to get to set your house up to make it a home so that you and your family can live. $200 here, $500 there. It can quickly become a very large bill. And nothing about any of the items or the things that I mentioned you may have to pay for after you move in are dramatic or unreasonable. But after you've just closed on a home and your closing costs are 10, 15, $20,000, the little normal things that once may have seemed like, oh, it's not that bad, definitely start to feel like a lot because you've already come out of pocket with a lot of money. But that's just the part of buying and owning a home. I like to tell my clients there really are 3 stages of money when you're buying a house. The first stage is the money you need before closing. That's your inspection, your appraisal, your option fee, your earnest money, the moving preparation. Then you have stage 2, which is money at closing. And that number is your down payment, your closing costs, your prepaids, and your escrow setup. Then you have your money after closing. And that is your furniture, your utilities, your appliances, your tools, and any maintenance that may need to be done right away. And I need first time home buyers to understand this more than anybody because this is your first time doing this. Throughout the whole process, you've been anxious and you felt uneasy for good reason because this is a very big purchase and it is a very large responsibility. But in this day and age with social media and being able to hear a lot of first time home buyer stories and their regrets with what happened during their process, I've come to realize that you all just don't know. And that may be for lack of a question that you didn't ask because you didn't know to ask, or lack of someone not breaking it down clearly enough for you. Over here, I don't want that. Okay, we want you to be a first time home buyer once and for it to be successful for you. So I want you to hear me when I say this. The keys are not the end of your bill. It's really just the beginning. And this point matters even more, especially if you're buying new construction, because the assumption with new construction that most first time home buyers have is that because it's new, everything is taken care of, everything is complete, and I don't have to bring anything out of pocket or to the table when I'm moving in. But new does not always mean complete. So let's look at this next clip.
Been in our house about 8 months now, and it's been amazing. I really have no complaints. Now, I do
Oh,
want to tell you
yay.
guys, in the first 30 days, there were some things that we probably did not think about needing that I wish somebody kind of would have told me. So let's talk about it, right? Our house did not come with blinds. We had new construction
Yeah.
house. We tried to negotiate it. Our realtor tried to negotiate blinds. They were not giving them out. But now, baby, my neighborhood is giving out blinds and refrigerators. It's crazy. So we had to buy blinds. We had to buy a refrigerator. Those were like big purchases, not really like extremely big, but those are big purchases when you just paid closing costs, which was $10,000, and now you have to buy a refrigerator, which was like 1,000. And the blinds, I think, were like $8 or $9 each, and we needed like 8 or 9 of them. I don't know. So that was like $80 there. And then we bought groceries because obviously we moved from our apartment to a house, but we had to get all new groceries, like everything, because we didn't buy anything leading up to that time because we knew we were moving, and it was just gonna make it easier for the move. So groceries, and then we had to get new furniture, like the couch that we had in the apartment we sold, and then we got a sectional for the house. So that was something that we spent funds on. But the first 30 days was basically just spending. So if I can give you advice, save a little bit more money than just down payment. Like if you are in the position to be able to buy a house, I would put up at least an additional 5 or 6 thousand more. And I know that can be hard for some people. We need all the money. We had to pay for like a can service. It was $60 for them to bring the can out there. Recycling service. Like it's just a whole bunch of different things that we had to pay for. Starting up the water. Like there was just other things other than just closing that you have to think about. So just make a list of stuff you need to handle.
She hit on a couple of major points that I want to speak on. I'm going to talk about the move-in cost first. Just because a house is brand new does not mean it's life ready. A home can be move-in ready, meaning you're able to physically go in and move in there, but it still may not have all of the items and things you need to function properly on a daily basis. The builder is going to deliver you a house, yes, but they are not going to deliver you a fully finished house where you don't have to go in and add anything to it. This is why it is important for buyers to ask about what is included or what is staying after they close, because it is going to mentally prepare you for all of the things that you may have to finish or pay for once you've moved in. Let's talk about something that people do not say out loud, because there is an aesthetic pressure that comes with buying a home. You get the keys, you're excited, you want to post it, decorate it, furnish it, make it feel like the Pinterest version of the dream home that you envisioned. But empty rooms are better than credit card debt and stress. It's okay if your house does not look fully finished in a month. It's okay if it doesn't look fully finished in 6 months. Do not let social media, your friends and family, or even just the expectations you have for yourself to reach a certain goal or for your home to look a certain way. Don't let those factors rush you into furnishing a house that your savings account is still recovering from. Furniture, appliances, stuff is not that important for you to be putting yourself in a bad financial decision that will take you years to get out of. Buying furniture is not bad. Decorating your home is not bad. Making your house feel like a home isn't bad. The issue is doing it before your money has had the chance to recover. If you have your cash, your emergency fund is intact, then that's different. But if for you, furnishing a home means putting thousands of dollars on credit cards, opening several store cards, using buy now, pay later accounts, emptying your emergency fund, and then as a result skipping out on other bills, then you need to slow down. All you need is the necessities: a bed, a dresser, a kitchen, a stove, a refrigerator. Okay, the basics. You do not have to have a fully furnished home as soon as you get in there, especially if you don't have the means to do so. A peaceful and clean empty room is way better than a fully decorated room that comes with all of the stress and anxiety to have to pay that off. For my first time home buyers out there, here's a checklist of questions I want you to ask yourself, your real estate agent, your builder, your lender, whoever you need to be able to answer these questions so you're prepared. Number one, what appliances are staying? What will my utilities cost me to just turn them on? Do I need the basic furniture in order for me to live every day? What can wait? How much will moving cost me? And then I believe most importantly, how much money will I have left after closing? I do not like for buyers to bring every dollar that they have to the closing table. Yes, technically, you can still close, but you will not be comfortable living after you've gotten into that home. You'll be what they say, cash poor, house rich, or house rich and cash poor. Life still happens. Your car may break. You may end up losing your job. You may need to fix something in the home. And even if nothing breaks, just moving costs money, as we've seen in this video. And I heard something, I thought it was good, so I'm going to share it with you all. For an emergency fund, you need to be able to have 6 months of your living expenses set aside. Money you don't touch, money that is strictly for emergencies. We don't expect those things to happen, but we also don't want to fall in a hole or have to foreclose on our home or do things like that if life does decide to happen. I understand that people may not be able to do that, and they also may not be able to do it right away. But what I want you to understand is at least the goal, okay? You may not be there yet. You may be working towards getting there, but it's a goal nonetheless. Most people aren't broke or don't feel broke because they bought a home. They feel broke because they either bought too soon or they spent too much to get in the home. Sometimes the better move is not rushing, taking a few more months to save up some more money, buying the less expensive home so you have some more breathing room in your budget. For the people who have been around a long time, y'all know I always say you never buy for what a lender approves you for. Sometimes the better move is waiting to furnish your home and focusing on building stability first. Everything comes in its proper time. A house should add stability to your life, not take every bit of peace that you have. So the biggest thing I want you to take from this video is that the closing day is not the end of your bill. You still need money to move in the house, live in the house, set up the house, maintain the house, and still protect your peace while doing all of that. A house can be move-in ready and still not be life ready if your bank account is drained. So, Before you buy, ask yourself one honest question. After I close, will I still have enough money to breathe? If you are 6 to 12 months out from buying and you need help on trying to figure out how much money you need to save, what all you can afford, what your goals and expectations should be, the whole enchilada, that is exactly what a consultation is for. I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Texas. My license number is 768070. We can look at your numbers, your timeline, your comfort level, and what you still need to prepare before you even go out looking at homes. The link for that is in the description below. Now, if you're not quite there just yet, be sure to keep watching the channel, especially these next 2 videos, to continue building your education on the home buying process. So when it's your turn, you're more than prepared. Remember, when you know better, you definitely buy smarter. Until next time, see you in the next one.